For more than half a century, the Boeing 747 has ruled the long-haul skies. With its pronounced upper fuselage, 4 powerful engines and enormous range, it became one of the most recognizable aircraft ever built. Generations of travelers crossed oceans aboard what many proudly called the Queen of the Skies. But time moves on in aviation. Most passenger 747s have now been retired, replaced by more efficient twin-engine wide-bodies. Today, only a handful remain in passenger service worldwide, and in the United States, just one operator still flies a Boeing 747-400 with a passenger cabin. So in this video, we take a look at the last Boeing 747-400 in America with a passenger configuration, how it got there, the legacy of the 747-400, and where this iconic aircraft stands today in both passenger and cargo service. The Boeing 747 is a long-range wide-body airliner that has dominated global aviation for over 50 years. Introduced in the late 1960s, the aircraft's unique half-double-decker fuselage made it instantly recognizable. It became a symbol of long-haul travel and a technological leap forward in commercial aviation. However, as the decades passed, many 747s simply grew too old or too expensive to operate in passenger service. While twin-engine jets like the Boeing 777 and 787 gradually replaced them, the 747 found a second life in cargo operations. In fact, many Boeing 747-400s continue flying today as freighters, but in passenger configuration, the numbers have dropped dramatically. Only 43 Boeing 747-400s are still registered for passenger service worldwide, and fewer than 30 are actively flying. Most of those aircraft are based outside North America, yet one US-based operator continues to fly the 747-400 with passenger capability, Atlas Air. Atlas Air is widely known for its cargo fleet, operating nearly 50 Boeing 747s across both cargo and passenger variants. However, among its aircraft are 5 Boeing 747-400s that retain the ability to transport passengers. One of these is configured in a 4-class charter layout and serves passenger missions, making it the last of its kind operating in the United States. 2 additional aircraft registered as November 263 Sierra Golf and November 322 Sierra Golf are configured for VIP charters. Another pair feature high-density layouts and operate on behalf of the United States Air Force. Of this final pair, only one remains active today, aircraft November 482 Mike Charlie. According to CH Aviation, November 482 Mike Charlie carries manufacturing serial number 32340. It was first delivered in June 2001, making it just under 25 years old. The aircraft is configured to accommodate 375 economy passengers, 66 premium economy passengers, and 14 business-class passengers for a total of 455 seats. That makes it one of the highest capacity passenger aircraft still operating under US registration. This particular 747-400 was originally ordered by Virgin Atlantic in November 2000. It conducted its first flight in June 2001 and was delivered to Virgin Atlantic on June 18th of that year. Registered as Golf Victor Romeo Oscar Yankee, the aircraft flew with the British carrier from June 2001 until January 2021. After nearly 2 decades in commercial service, Atlas Air acquired the aircraft in January 2021. Since then, it has been used for high-density passenger missions on behalf of the USAF. In the early 1960s, commercial jet travel was already transforming global transportation. Aircraft like the Boeing 707 and Douglas DC-8 revolutionized long-distance travel, but major airlines, including Pan American Airways, wanted something even larger, an aircraft capable of carrying more than twice the passengers of the 707. Boeing assigned legendary engineer Joe Sutter to lead the project. The result was the Boeing 747. Pan Am became the launch customer, ordering 25 aircraft. To build it, Boeing constructed an entirely new factory in Everett, Washington, at the time the largest building in the world by volume. The first 747 rolled out on September 30th, 1968 and made its maiden flight in February 1969. The testing phase encountered challenges including wing oscillation issues and problems with Pratt & Whitney JT9D engines. After redesigns and extensive certification work, the aircraft was approved by the Federal Aviation Administration in December 1969. Pan Am introduced the 747 on its New York to London route shortly thereafter. From 1969 through 2023, Boeing produced over 1,500 examples across multiple 747 variants. Few aircraft in aviation history have matched its global impact. Among those variants, the Boeing 747-400 became one of the most successful. Introduced publicly at the Farnborough Air Show in September 1984, the Dash 400 retained the classic 747 airframe, but featured more efficient engines and approximately 1,000 nautical miles of additional range. The first 747-400 rolled out in January 1988 and completed its maiden flight in April. It received FAA certification in January 1989. Northwest Airlines introduced the type into commercial service on February 9, 1989. Passenger versions were produced from 1988 until 2005. A Combi variant allowing both passengers and cargo on the main deck was built from 1989 to 2002. The freighter version entered production in 1993 and continued until 2009. In total, nearly 700 Boeing 747-400s were manufactured. Design improvements helped extend its range and efficiency. Boeing introduced wider, lighter wings equipped with winglets, enhancing takeoff performance and fuel burn. Carbon brakes replaced steel brakes, reducing weight by nearly 2,000 pounds. The 747 could be powered by 3 engine types: the Pratt & Whitney PW4000, the General Electric CF6, or the Rolls-Royce RB211. Each delivered approximately 60,000 pound-force of thrust, depending on configuration. The aircraft measures 231 feet 10 inches in length, stands 63 feet 8 inches tall, and has a wingspan of 211 feet 5 inches. Its maximum takeoff weight is 875,000 pounds. Typical cruise speed is 490 knots, or about 564 miles per hour. It has a range of 7,285 nautical miles, roughly 8,385 miles, and a service ceiling of 45,100 feet. Inside the cockpit, the 747-400 introduced a modern glass cockpit with CRT displays, powered by a Honeywell flight management computer and a Rockwell Collins central maintenance computer. Cabin upgrades included redesigned sidewalls, improved heat-resistant paneling, and larger overhead bins. While maximum seating could reach 660 passengers, a typical 3-class layout carried around 416. Over the years, many major airlines operated the 747-400. Northwest Airlines was the launch customer and later passed its fleet to Delta Airlines after their merger. Delta retired its 747-400 fleet in 2017. British Airways once operated 57 examples, making it the largest 747-400 operator at its peak. The airline retired its final aircraft in 2020. United Airlines operated 44, often flying them on trans-Pacific routes from San Francisco and Chicago. Qantas operated 31 at its peak. Lufthansa reached 30. Cathay Pacific flew 25. Singapore Airlines and Air France each operated 24. China Airlines had 23 and KLM operated 22. Japan Airlines, once the largest 747 operator overall, also flew the Dash 400 variant. Today, passenger 747-400 operations are extremely limited. Lufthansa is the largest remaining passenger operator, flying 8 from Frankfurt. Russia operates 2 active aircraft. Air China flies its final 2 on selected domestic and high-demand international routes. In Africa, Nigeria's Max Air has 1 active aircraft. In cargo service, however, the 747-400 remains highly valuable. Atlas Air is the largest operator overall, flying nearly 50 aircraft across cargo and passenger roles. UPS Airlines, Silkway West Airlines, Air Transcargo, Cathay Pacific Cargo, Kalita Air and China Airlines Cargo also continue to operate the type. What do you think? Is there still a place for aircraft like the 747-400 in passenger service, or has the era of the Queen of the Skies officially come to an end? Let us know by leaving a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more aviation content. See you next time. In addition to our daily YouTube videos, Simple Flying publishes over 150 articles and a podcast every week. Visit simpleflying.com.